We're starting with a very different vibe today, Burke. Last week I threw the super terrifying trailer at us. Last week on Burke Learns Blazor, everyone was all kind of worried and starting it. And this morning our countdown music is like, like, yeah.
I know, and I'm actually answering an email as you do that. I'm
All
declining
right.
a meeting that I'm supposed
Well,
to be
you
in
do
right
that.
now.
Welcome, friends, to Burke Learns Blazor. We are rebuilding the URL list. Also, sometimes called the URL list, but I'm not going to do that's the wrong. It's the URL list. It's a website for tracking lists of URLs, originally built by Burke and Cecil 4 years ago, and it was built with Azure Storage and Vue and functions, and it was kind of a bit of a science project to make all that work, right, Burke?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we can. Let me share my screen. Are you going to share your screen today? Are you going to do some stuff in Visual Studio?
I mean, we could.
So here's the application. Just as a reminder, we're rebuilding this thing. Yep. And curiously, y'all, we started this because the login was broken. Login's back. Login's back. Okay, so
screen capture.
The whole reason we were doing this is now negated, and we're going to do it anyway. But now,
yes and no, because we talked through this a bit, and like it's still, we don't totally trust it, right? Like,
yeah,
the login just stopped working. The Twitter APIs kind of, well, trust issues. And then plus, I think, like, I love this site. I use this all the time. I use it several times a week. And I would, honestly, I'd love to, like, add in some cool other features. Like, I think it would be neat if we could, like, it'd be cool that one thing that came up in my team this week, somebody was like, hey, can you see metrics? Can you see how many times somebody clicked on a different link?
Yeah, analytics.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a whole, people have asked for grouping of links. They want to be able to group links within a list, right? So you have, different, I don't know how that would look like, but people have asked for stuff and we haven't been able to do it because it's unmaintainable as is.
Yeah. So I think it's something, it's a cool enough app. It's worth getting on new code, getting the code under control so we can kind of keep going forward. So
yeah, let's do it. What's up, Techie? What's up, Victor? PJ.
So in the previous episodes, like the first one, we just kind of got an app sort of running. The second one, we have an Azure function. We have a Blazor static web app set up using the like basic like hello world thing, right?
Right.
Did you want me to share? I mean, I'm totally not ready to, and I'm also totally game to go for it.
I can do it. Maybe. 1 second.
I don't know about you, Burke. The last couple of weeks have been a little crazy. This week, right after, part of the reason we're starting early today, right after this, the .NET, we've got an event, Let's Learn .NET web development. And so, like, we're actually just rolling directly from this into that on some of these YouTube channels. And we've got David Pine and Cam Soper teaching, like, getting started with web development. And I've been helping behind the scenes kind of get that event set up and stuff. So I've been
really good. We should go to that. Is that happening right now?
No, it's happening as soon as this ends. So we're on for 90 minutes, and then we go directly into that event.
So we can only do 90 minutes today? Is that what you're...
That's it. You better talk fast.
The .NET Core SDK cannot be... Why? It was there last week. .NET version. Yeah, it's there. I don't know why it's complaining. All right. So I think... Let me share entire screen 2. The screen.
All right, here we go.
Get the SDK. Why does it think there's no SDK? .NET list what is it? .NET list SDKs?
Yeah, you can do .NET -info, I think. Or if you just type .NET.
Look, it's shouting at me about nothing. I didn't even do anything. All right, so we're gonna be in the API today. Ugh. Terminal. We're in the API today.
All right.
Right? And we're going to create an endpoint and we're going to wire up to our database.
And I think while we're depending, I mean, I always like to jump in. There's 3 projects here. There's the API, the client, and then there's that shared project. And the shared project is where you put your models. So that's like your simple model classes. Is this similar? Would you do the same sort of thing in JavaScript land?
Hold on real quick. I gotta throw out all my changes. Delete files. I'm sorry. What was the question?
So the way this project's set up, you've got a shared project,
right,
which just holds your models in it. So there, it's got the simple weather forecast, and it has no logic in it or minimal logic, and it just has the properties that are going to map to your database or whatever.
So in JavaScript, no, you would have a models folder here, and then you would repeat your models here, because otherwise, how would the API know about the shared folder? Like in JavaScript, it wouldn't know.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Okay. So in this case, what you've got is here, I'm setting up a new layout so that we can zoom slightly more. Good. Always got to be zooming. Here, I'm doing this. So custom layout. Okay. I'm going to put us over in the corner. Whoop. Look at that. So the way here, like if you click on that weather forecast.
Right. This is a model.
There's your simple model. So do you, in the existing URL list that's live on the internet?
Yes.
That probably has some model folders, right?
It does. So
that the Azure function uses.
Yeah, let's pull this up here and go to. You have backend models and front end models, and hopefully we're going to move away from that. So if we go to the existing backend.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Use those backend models. There it is. It's a model folder
here. So the way that he did it, and he being Cecil, is that he called it link bundle.
Mm.
And then a link bundle is comprised of, I guess a link bundle is an array.
Yeah, but what are the links themselves?
These are the ID, user ID, vanity, description. The links are a dictionary.
Okay. Yeah. A couple things back there, but you had the fairy floss was a good. I love switching between different themes. Like some days I'll be like, today is a purple day. Today is Darkula. Today is,
Yeah, it's nice. All right. So here, what do we want to do?
Did it not? So you were trying to do the GitHub.
Oh, that's right. We're asking. So we need to ask it. So let's see here.
I would say
we want to let's copy this. I don't know why this isn't working.
Thinking. This thing's about the same speed, I think. Burke, it's just it's contemplating.
Yeah, this is not promising at all. Let's go
got a lot on its mind.
I wonder. Let's try this. How do I query Cosmos DB from? Yeah, it's thinking, but it's not like anything's happening. Yeah, no.
I would say a C# from C#
from C#, right?
Oh, and but you want, I guess that works. Yeah, it doesn't matter that it's an isolated function. I'll look this up on my screen too. I had docs on this open earlier today, and I closed them before the thing.
So this looks pretty promising. Using Cosmos and Link.
It does look promising. It's a binding. Well, connect to Azure function, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, here. I'm going to throw some docs in our chat. link to the doc if you want to check that out too.
So if we go to here, I think then, oh yeah, it finally responds. So
nice.
Function 1, function name. We have,
and then usually I'll like get it working, and then I'll copy I'll abstract stuff into like a service or something, right? So you'll have like a service that's doing the communicating.
Yeah, but for, I guess for our purposes, we can just, what? Using directive is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Okay.
Well, it's saying that because there's no code using it yet.
Oh. Okay. So let's put it back, and then let's go to.
But so this is one of the places where the API has changed between the isolated. Yeah. As Janisky's saying there, that the web jobs thing that it's showing you, I think this code is for the in process, the non-isolated. We want to use isolated.
Web jobs have non-isolated. So don't use this code?
I would recommend not. Let's check out the link I sent. And it points in the docs, and it has a very clear like toggle. You can say use the isolated or not, or you can tell Copilot using isolated mode.
All right, let's go here.
While you're doing that, I'll try and explain. So Azure Functions used to have this kind of lighter weight in process model, and used attributes, and you just kind of bind stuff, but it was kind of its own API model. It didn't kind of match with a lot of other .NET stuff. And also it was more difficult for them to run multiple versions of .NET. The newer isolated model lets you basically like pick whatever .NET version you want to run. And it also matches better with like dependency injection and ASP.NET stuff and middleware and all that. But it is a different model. Yeah, so if you...
So it says add a new setting. So, okay, so we can follow this. So let's go to functions, add new setting. Okay, yes. No, because then it's looking at functions. I don't want to do that. Here, let's just add a setting here, right? And
sure.
It's Cosmos DB connection string. Okay, we can do that. Connection. Okay, and then paste the value. Okay, so how do we get our connection string? From here, 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 here.
One of those things where you want to hide your connection string? Or...
Connection string.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I do want to hide it.
Here, let me take you off screen.
1 second. I can just pull it over here.
I got you off screen too.
Okay, and then
part of the fun there are some extensions that'll blur. There's one called Azure Mask and some others like.
Yeah, I won't blur it in VS Code, but yeah,
VS
will
Code.
in the portal. Let's talk about the word wrap. Okay, you can put me back.
All right.
So let me do this. The next thing we want to do, let's go back to the docs here.
Mm-hmm.
Register binding extensions, .NET add package. No, we don't need to do this, do we?
I think you do. Well, okay. So this link, was there a toggle? So see down where it says add an input back in the doc. Sorry, this is important. Okay, where it says in process and isolated process, click the tab that says isolated process. So we got to make sure we're following the isolated process. So now if you scroll back up, does it still have you add that web jobs business? Yeah. This toggles up for the entire thing.
Yeah, it does. It changes it to...
So you want the isolated process one.
All right, so terminal... I put that in the wrong.
It doesn't really, well, it doesn't matter.
It does matter though, doesn't it?
You need it to be in the API one. So I went down this road a bit because I wrote an Azure function that needed to connect to SQL Server, and I use an EF Core, and it turned out to be a lot easier to do with an isolated process. But then you really have to watch in the docs and the packages and everything. It's very like everything. It's basically a whole new thing almost. So,
okay, so we've got that, and then add an output binding. What the heck?
Okay, so
that's
C#
class.
At the top of your class, you'll copy in that stuff.
The top of this thing?
Wait.
In a C# class library project, the bindings are defined as a binding attributes on the function method. So open the HTTP example project file and add the following classes. So yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think yes and no. I think the stuff that it's doing there is specific to that my document is part of their example.
I think we want this one, which no?
Yeah, this is cool.
Creates the response. Yeah, so let's get this stuff here. Copy paste programming, y'all, is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So do this. I'm just checking with the chat here. There you go.
Okay. We may even want to put this in a separate function and copy stuff in. I'm not sure what the my message is. If that is, I think that's your model class that it's returning.
Okay, so here, return new multi-response. Return a response to both HTTP trigger and Azure Cosmos DB output binding. Return new multi-response.
I'm not sure if this is helpful.
What the? Oh, it's because it's called multi-response. So HTTP response, return new.
I guess I should look at what this doc is actually doing.
This is the same thing. Look, this is the exact same thing as this, just as a different name.
Yeah. So is this so there's output bindings and input bindings, and I'm not sure. So an output binding is going to be, I think, saving stuff to the database, and an input binding reads from.
I don't want to use bindings, and we didn't use bindings before, but this is the reason why, is because it's confusing, right? It's just
I agree.
Find a connection. Like if you look how Cecil did it, Cecil did. Like, let's look at his functions here. This is how he does it.
So that is a binding, though. See?
Is it?
Yeah. So when you see that attribute thing, that is. So now you'll use a different syntax for it, but yeah, that's what those. I'm looking real quick at. So the stuff I've seen with this, there's input bindings, which is saying like, get me some data or connect to something. And output bindings is saying save to or write to something.
Okay. So
I think we want an input binding for Cosmos DB. The other option is to like manually use a Cosmos DB client. But I think this is going to be the smoothest. We'll need to. I'm looking at docs, connect to, create. So yeah, output binding is going to write. Now, this is more complicated than I wanted it to be. So there are some examples too I'm looking at.
You said it's an output binding or an input binding?
I think we want an input binding. Yeah, that. C#.
Copilot has no clue.
Okay.
We don't need this message here. I don't need to write a message to the response. I mean, looking at their code, why doesn't this work? This is exactly what they did.
Okay, so
an instance of an abstract hyper interface.
Yeah, I think it's the nesting here. Return new.
Public static multi-response. Oh.
Yeah, but I don't think this is honestly going to. So if it's an output binding, I think it's writing to Cosmos DB, not reading. If that makes sense.
But let's see here. Return document. Oh, yeah. It's not. It is creating a document. Verify that it's been created. Redeploy. Clean up resources. No, right. Tell me how to query it.
Yeah. So we need to query.
Should we just Google it? How do I query? What was that? How do I clear my? How do I query qualify for disability? No. Query my tax code.
Query Cosmos DB.
How do I query audit history in Dynamics 365?
Nice.
So specific. All right. How do I query Cosmos DB using bindings in Azure Functions? I don't know.
Azure Functions isolated. I'm finding some docs now. Things are coming together. Query attributes.
Connect Azure Functions. Did we just look at this? Database name. No, we didn't. This is different, right? No, it's the same. Add an output binding.
You want an input? Oh, I'm finding one now. Things are coming together. Is this? Goodness. So the docs are a little confusing. I'll be honest here.
Azure Cosmos, Azure Functions isolated input binding. I'm at a loss.
So this is interesting. There's some question about DAB, which is Data API Builder, which is kind of cool. It'll build. You can point it at a database like Cosmos DB, and it'll build an API on top of it for you. It's kind of more dynamic. I think in this case, though, we actually do want to be connecting to.
This is it right here. Function.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
And then here's the bind. There it is right there.
That's it. That's the magic.
All right. I feel like it was in Cecil's code already. If he's watching this, he's probably
well, it was, but it's in the slightly different format because Cecil's was in the older school in-process functions and the. Yeah, for people talking about it in the chat, we did a ASP.NET community stand-up a month or so ago with the Data API Builder folks. It's pretty cool.
So it's query. So this is Q trigger, not a Q trigger, HTTP trigger. That's right, anonymous. To do item lookup. Well, what the hell is that?
Oh
no, that's the name of the thing, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need that. It's a get. what we need is this part here, right?
I am concerned if this is isolated.
It says it is.
Okay.
I switched to isolated. Isolated process, yeah.
Okay.
But, oh, I see. Okay, so to do item. Okay, so it's going to be like.
Yep.
This?
Yeah. You're still binding to the request, so I think that's good. Yep. You don't.
We don't need it to do item.
No.
It's link item, maybe?
And down below, why does it not work with logger? We need to inject the logger also.
Logger is right here.
Yeah, so why is it not happy with that?
Let's see here. Let's go back to the timeline. I just want to take a look. If you didn't know, y'all, VS Code has this feature where it just saves for you.
That's
so
pretty
logger information. Yeah. It doesn't actually inject the logger. It just uses it up there. And then it's just logger.log information.
Yeah, what is the error message? I'm curious about that because it should be
I think because it's not closed off here properly.
Oh.
Right? Where's the brace? Oh, there it is. That's the brace matching. So, okay, we're getting somewhere. So now
Yes.
This is not used. This link, do I need to import?
You don't have the using, which is going to be the shared. So you can probably get a fix for it, like down in the thing.
Oh, if I just ask, let's see if this the C# dev kit should do this, right?
Yeah, light bulb. Yep.
Link item. But it's not a link item. It is an array of. It is this. Right?
Yeah, Vivek saying too, you can do control dot or command dot maybe.
That's what I did. Yeah, command dot is exactly what I did. So link items, and then what we want to do is return create response. Where are we returning it? Let's go back to the docs. If to do
items, we'll need to go. We still need to make some fixes too on that attribute.
This is all you have to do? You don't actually return anything anywhere?
Doc ID. This is querying. I guess not. That's no. This so here's you got to return response, as Vivek saying. So the issue there is this is just logging it. This is a sample.
So
and that sample is just logging that. So you need to do return. Yeah. So instead of create response HTTP status code OK, I think you're going to do just return the thing.
Return response. Just yes. It's not a thing. Hold on. What did I do? I broke it. Var response equals rec.create response status OK return response. Right? You're telling me this is going to magically?
No, it's not. What is that Cosmos DB thing creating? Can we look back at the sample again? It's actually binding to it and doing something. To do item. See that where it has that to do item description, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Here? No.
Yeah, that's it.
Up here, right here?
Okay, so the logger, the else logger found to do item description equals to do item description. That's because it's binding to the thing. So
to do item dot description.
Yeah, so go back to your code. So your link items is your thing. So return link items.
So instead of returning the response,
you can also do request create response link items. So instead of HTTP status code, okay, I bet you can pop in link items. And, like Victor says, a whole lot of magic going on. It's totally the feeling I get when I'm working with this. Okay, so I guess not create response. Return link items then.
So you get a status code or a status code.
Yeah, so this isn't helpful. So we can get rid of that request create response and just change it to return link items, I think.
Can we?
Yep. It's totally going to work.
You sound so sure. No.
No. Okay. Well, so what is it? So first of all, this
response data, it has to be response data.
So change return public. So the method signature return HTTP response data, that should be instead an array of link items.
Was there not? I feel like there was an example of this in the project. Did we delete it? Was there not a get weather forecast function?
Yeah.
How are they returning? Var response create response.write as async.
Oh, well, I was wrong then.
And then return.
I was maybe slightly wrong.
We're close.
Actually, I think you need to copy the line above it too.
Really? We already have that there, right? Oh no, we don't. You're right. By the way, this is like the most useful command in VS Code. Command PP.
I didn't know that one.
You'll never forget now.
What is it doing?
It just toggles the last file, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you can remember it because it's Command PP, Command or Control PP. You'll never forget that as long as you live.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's do this. Right, Jason is async response.
Yeah, we may need an await.
Jason's async response. No. Link items. Oh, please. This is why I don't like strongly typed languages, right? If this was JavaScript, we would just do this.
Well, wait. So it does not exist in the current context because you are now working in the weather forecast.
Oh, what am I doing?
So that probably would work in JavaScript, but it would be, like not working code.
It would throw an error. When it just don't save this. Just don't. Just get me out of here. I hate myself right now.
It's all good. We're getting there. Look at this.
Value task instances return should always be used, typically awaited.
So you need an await in there. So await response. So before response, type, okay. Nice. What?
What did it just do?
It just threw the keyword await before response right as JSON async.
That's it.
Yeah.
But did it change this up here?
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did. Do we need that?
Yes. I'm not sure. Honestly.
They're not using it here.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, so let's just put an await in front of this. Now what's wrong? The return type of it must be await task.
You do need a task if you're awaiting. It's kind of a pain.
So then what? It's like, the tokenization is totally broke. Look at this.
Yeah, it needs to be an async. So you do have an async thing there. We've got kind of halfway.
What's the syntax? You want to go back and let Copilot do this?
Yeah, let's let Copilot do it. Let's see. Yeah, so like as Sean's saying, everyone's saying in the chat, we're halfway between. Before they were just logging, so it didn't need a result return type. It didn't need async. It didn't need any of that. Now we're actually doing some work. So, okay, is it doing things?
Yeah, there we go. So let's take Copilot's suggestion.
All right. I think the problem was it got us halfway there. And then what we need to do say accept, and then on that task, I think we just need the namespace in there.
Ah,
so
gotcha.
we can do the control dot. Okay,
Holy
we have
smokes! I feel like I've been through the ringer.
that's true. But this is the most important logic in our entire app.
The ID is not to do. We don't need to query it by ID.
What are you querying by?
Vanity URL.
Okay, so
how? I'm curious.
I think you are querying by both.
See, he's writing an actual query.
I think you can maybe do that.
So
this is just doing a
collection name is link bundles. Okay. Database name is, I think it's Burke DB Azure resources.
We have 30 minutes left, Burke.
We're gonna get through this.
Actually, though, once we've got, I feel like there's some code that takes a while to write, and then once you've got it, you're like, it's home free from there. You know,
I don't like this. I mean, this should be an app setting. What is this?
It is, isn't it?
No, it's like it's actually hard coded in here.
Oh,
we should put it in. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now there's no way this works first time. What do you think, chat?
It will absolutely not work. Come on. Okay, chat. Give us the thumbs up or thumbs down. Is it going to work?
Nope. Still failed. The name link items does not exist in the current context. I don't understand. Is it because I need it here? No, because
to do item, they have.
Oh, wait a minute.
You didn't pass anything in, right? When you queried it, it didn't get a vanity URL.
I did not pass anything in. No, it didn't even build.
Oh. Okay, let me move to the side here so we can see the name, blah, blah, blah. I'm not reading so well today. It's funny because it's compiling, but there's an error.
Oh, it's in the weather forecast function.
That's what somebody else noticed too.
Chat just got it for me. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
You're trying to reference it in the weather forecast function. That's pretty good. Thank you, Copilot. All right. Golly.
It's a race between Copilot and our chat, though.
How do I just give me all this? Just let me go back in time. The weather forecast function.
It's funny with me. I keep these like auto-generated things around for a while because it's like, hey, this is some working code, right? Okay.
What? It's not picking up that there's a change to weather function.cs, but there. I don't know. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, I have wondered about this. There's this dude on TikTok that pretends to be an AI, and he'll just like he built these websites and stuff, and people will ask AI things, and they'll say like, "That's a hard question. Could you ask me an easier one?" Or stuff.
That's pretty funny. All right, get links.
So now you could ping this API using a key.
But where is it pulling this ID from, the partition key? Is it pulling it off the URL? Is it pulling it off?
Binding it to
the request?
That yeah, we should go back to the sample. It should be there's a weird magic mapping thing. So here, look up ID from JSON.
Define example. This is triggered by a JSON message in the storage queue. That doesn't help us.
Well,
how is Cecil doing it? Rec, Cosmos DB, connection string, vanity URL.
So your vanity URL is part of the request.
Yes, but it's look.
Yeah, he's got it in the route,
which is how it should be. So it's after the. So he's doing a get only is all he's allowing, and then he's doing route.
Now here, I'm not sure if that route business is going to happen because
it doesn't work this way anymore.
Maybe. Oh, so you need to that attribute. You shouldn't be closing the. I think you copied one too many or too few parentheses or something. It's just a syntax deal. Is that working?
I feel like it didn't. Come on, baby. Come on. No. Nope.
Error indexing
character in the route template. Oh, wow. That's a very helpful error.
Yeah. Sometimes error messages are like, you can tell someone put some effort in. Sometimes it's like, object not found. All right, come on now. So what's your tool of choice when you're wanting to test out? I'll sometimes just go right in the
localhost cannot. Oh, it failed. Exception. Unable to resolve the property Cosmos DB attribute connection string setting. Oh, Cosmos DB connection string.
Again, a useful error message here.
Yeah, this is not too painful when it tells us that's right? Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna get some links.
So look at my connection string chat. Look away.
So now you need to go links
and then
the URL.
Okay, so look,
it's something.
It's returning something, but not at all what we needed. ID is vanity URL. Partition key is vanity URL. ID no. It's. Do we have to have this?
I don't know. I think you do. Honestly, I have no idea what that Cosmos DB input attribute is.
What? Because it should be vanity URL equals. Hold on, what was this?
Yeah, I don't think you can freeform it in there. I think that attribute is very.
The ID has to be there.
Yeah, or you change it around and you input something else. Maybe.
I'm gonna try this. I'm going for it.
So I think we have some options there. You can. Okay. And maybe if it's
no,
no,
it failed. What does it say? It needs that ID.
Gotta have that ID. I'm curious why it didn't work with having that ID.
Well, because there is no.
Oh, we don't.
That doesn't exist in our.
Yeah, it does. Don't you have an ID?
No. If we look at the data, not for the link bundle, right? So here's
Yeah, the link bundle does have an ID.
It does, but in the real world, we just want to pass this.
Okay, just to get it working, I want to see a response on the screen.
Okay.
Can we? Well, oh, but I see we don't have that to pass in. Okay.
Do that.
Sure.
But I don't think I can do it here. I think I have to go to.
So I bet there's a different Cosmos ID binding where you can bind and not need those things. Let me input binding. They have a bunch of sample projects too. I was looking at earlier.
So update there, and then let's try this again. So now the ID is actually there. Okay, it is the vanity URL.
Mm-hmm.
And now the partition key feels extremely redundant.
Yes.
Come on, man.
No. Dun, 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 no.
Can we debug it? Should we just? This is where I am.
Sure.
Is this a method? How do I log something out in .NET?
Yeah, console.writeline works.
Oh, okay, .writeline.
There's also the logger log information.
What I want to know is
what's being passed in.
What is the value of this? Like, how do I log this out?
Yeah. So if you hit the debugger, so hit a semicolon at the end of that write line, or, like put an empty string or whatever in there. Yeah. And then we can just debug it.
Just like slap a. Also, we should be doing like, I think we can do, I think this is a thing. No, it's not.
Func start,
but can't you watch it?
Oh, yeah. I think that's another parameter you can put in there.
No? I feel like in JavaScript, this just works.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, though. Force language target framework model, no docs. Nope. Restart it every time. Okay. Wait, but this won't attach to debugger. We got to do it. Right?
I don't know.
It won't. We got to do it this way.
It's not running though, is it?
No, nothing is happening when I click the button. Please start debugging.
What about, something happened. Something stopped.
No, let's kill this.
What about if you started and then attach? Do func start. I don't know if you can do .NET Watch. There's a question on that.
Why does this not just work? I'm clicking this and nothing's happening. Is it because there's errors?
Depends what the binding is. No, I don't think the errors are stopping it. What's in the output? Is it running?
No. It's just this is not doing anything.
I think it might be running.
Run and debug. I don't even know. Like, I'm not sure why none of this is work. Oh, hold on.
You may be connecting to the wrong.
Oof, look at this. I feel like it's kind of stuck.
That's running. Do you have the breakpoint still in there?
The breakpoint was here. Yeah, it's still there.
Okay, and then did it pop the browser?
Well, no, this is just it restoring. It's not actually running.
Oh.
So let's try to. Okay, there we go.
Yay! Seems like, well, I don't know about you, but I might be spending some time over the 4th of July weekend playing with this.
Yeah, I just don't know anything
The binding
about
stuff.
C# and functions.
And this is the thing I run into with functions. It's very it feels kind of like similar to regular expressions or some other stuff where it's like, it's very few lines of code. When it works, it's magic. When it doesn't, it's a little frustrating.
So this is where, it's like, how do you debug the binding?
So you want to know what your ID and partition key are.
How do I, okay, so can I just.
So Sean saying put the breakpoint on line 35.
Yeah, but we're already past this, aren't we?
Yeah, no, we should have all those bound things. So link items is null.
They're null. It's definitely null, but it's like, why? What is the value of this and this?
Yeah, the Cosmos DB binding, what does that connect to? Everyone wants to see. Oh, so one thing is line 30. That's a good idea. We could be writing out vanity URL. So
how?
Because vanity URL is a bound thing, isn't it? It's I can't see because we've got the wrapping. What's on that line above?
Here?
Sorry, line 22. What's all the stuff to the right on line 22?
Oh.
There we go. Okay. So vanity URL, maybe the query string values. Yeah, it's tricky. If we go into request, can we see some more stuff in the request?
Binding context, binding data, vanity URL test. It's there. It's definitely there. That is it. That is absolutely it.
Yeah. So it should, so like I'm just thinking through, there's probably the way forward here is play with the, so I'm not sure what Vivek's saying here. Context.binding context. Is that in the list or should we?
I wonder if it's like, so it's functions before isolated route parameters.
Mm-hmm. So while you're looking at that, Sean's asking why it's an array of link instead of a link item. This one is the idea here is we're.
Oh, he's right.
What's that?
Right? No, because it could be multiple. So here's the thing. He's right. He's right. This idea is selecting one item. We're not necessarily getting one item back, right? No, we are getting one item back.
We're getting back a document.
Yeah, so he's right. It is a link. It is a link bundle, is what it is. Okay. An array of links. We have not defined the model correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
Sean is right.
Sean's pretty often right.
Right? And then based on the document, which is here, we need an ID, a user ID, a vanity URL, and a description.
Mm-hmm.
An array of links. So
That's part of what I was asking about earlier, right? It's the, yeah. It's,
I can't, my memory is so bad.
What? It didn't, why isn't it doing it?
I don't know.
Oh, because you're still running. You're in debug.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Copilot doesn't work while the debugger's attached. Please let me out. Delete. Okay. Yo, Copilot is just.
I think, is it still running?
No, it's like.
Maybe go back. Okay. All right. You have to type. It's unhappy.
Now I'm just irritated.
Okay. Go back.
What?
Do we need to? Oh, there it is. Wait, did it do it?
No, I just copied it over.
Oh, okay.
So we have an ID.
Wow.
We have a vanity URL.
Yeah, I do think Memphis Tim's right, and I do think there is going to be a binding on the Cosmos DB input bindings to do a SQL query instead of the ID. I do think that's where we're going to need to get to. Right? There's going to be a Cosmos DB input binding thing that gives you the SQL query option instead of binding directly to an ID. Oh, let me Googlify that.
ID, user ID, vanity URL description.
Input binding.
And then there's a list of links. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. All right.
So then here.
Yeah. So.
But how does it know to map? Don't we need like property descriptors here to say like vanity URL is actually this?
No.
Because how's it going to map? It doesn't know. Like if we look at Cecil's code here. No, Cecil, where's Cecil's code? Hold on. See how he's got in his models. Wow, get up, take your time.
Everything's slow today.
Holy smokes. What is this? Load the page.
So we've got some great, I don't know if you want to wait till it comes up. We've got some great suggestions here, I think. We've got the real Chat GPT in the house.
All right, what is it?
Okay, so first of all, I mean, these are all good. One of the attributes on the Cosmos DB binding is to do a SQL query instead of an ID. So that's item 1. In getlinks.cs, change out that ID and put in SQL query. And then Vivek's got it written out for us like this.
I mean, I'm not getting any help here from. So I can't. It's miserable. Is GitHub down?
Everything's down today. I don't know. SQL query. There is a binding for it. I'm just not sure.
I mean, if I could see what Cecil did, we could. Like nothing. This is just. It's just broke, man. There we go. Please.
GitHub is down, somebody says. Go to isup.me. Oh my gosh. So we think we're having a bad day, but GitHub's down, so you know.
Oh.
Well,
all right.
Maybe that explains.
In that case, this stream is over.
No. I think we got a good solid 5 more minutes. We can.
What do I do? Like, what's the syntax? Let's just say this is it. And then what?
Similar to like this. Right. So you can do select star. So it's very, oh, I see what you're saying. We can't get Cecil's code.
Yeah. So we don't know.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, we're going into the next stream in 6 minutes. Let's hack on some code for 6 minutes, at least get us kind of set up for next time. So I think we can actually guess our way through a lot of it. Like the select star from, do we know the name of it's like links? Yeah. Where? And then we're selecting vanity URL equals. Yep. Yeah.
Doesn't Cosmos TV do this weird thing where it's like this?
Probably. Yeah.
Actually, we can test this. If we go here, let's just test it real quick. Select star from.
Yeah. So the one thing LaShawn and Vivek are saying here. So you got to say
C.
Yeah, exactly. That C, and then you say C dot blah blah blah.
Select star from C, where C dot vanity. That's so weird. I guess C is short for collection.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we even need the partition key?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess yes.
So like, here's a couple of things. Like, I expect that like if I hit comma, the editor can help me with different things. And it's like this list right here is just, has no clue.
Yeah.
And that's super not helpful. But that could be part of the C# dev kit improvements that we're working on.
Could be.
All right. So we're trying it.
Yeah. I feel like at least there's a decent amount of just hacking our way through this. We'll get something, all of a sudden it'll magically work. And then we'll be like, now we have the magic syntax and now we can add, delete, and blah, blah, blah. I tell you, once we get this working, the front end is going to be so easy.
Yeah, I've already done quite a bit of work on the front end, even though we're not supposed to. And
I know you're cheating.
No. What do we got? Owner resource does not exist.
What? We do potentially have issues with the array thing still.
I mean, that to me sounds like this is failing.
Resource. Yeah, people are saying get rid of the partition key, so I don't know.
Get rid of partition key? It definitely wants partition key.
There. Is that good? And then probably before next week, we can go through. We'll see. There's probably going to be like 2 lines of code that need to change, and the thing will work, and then we can kind of go into it and build.
Yeah, we just got to get the syntax right. GitHub's down. Owner resource does not exist. Yeah, this is just failing. This query is failing for whatever reason, and I don't know why.
So it doesn't give anything useful. Failed. It just says owner resource does not exist.
Right, like this is straight up an error from Cosmos DB from the query. 100%.
So it should be, let me see. Is the collection name correct?
Link bundles. Linky link DB. But that's the connection string. Link bundles, database name. The database name is not Burke DB1. The database name is Linky Link DB. Who said that? Who made that suggestion?
I think it was Sean again. There's
Sean, get in here and write this thing for us.
I know, right? And we are getting pretty close to time because the next thing is starting in just a couple of minutes. So I think we can kind of, regardless of where we're at, I think, we just kind of needed to get some code going. Now we've got an almost working function.
Oh my gosh.
Right at the time. That's amazing.
Holy crap. We
beautiful.
Did that. We did it against all odds.
That is magic. That is so amazing with literally 1 minute to go.
Sean, we owe you something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't pay you, but.
Okay, this is beautiful. Honestly, we got to wrap up because
the next
show is starting. So this is great. I think we ended right at time. Beautiful. All right. Catch you in a week.
Awesome. Thank you. See you, chat. See you next week. John, can you hear me backstage?
I can. I think everyone can hear us, actually.
Oh, really? Hey, chat, can you still hear us for backstage? We're not in the stream.
Yeah. I actually do need to end this because they're supposed to go live in 12 seconds.
So, yeah, we still hear you both.
Awesome.
All right. I got to ping you about something real quick.
Okay.
All right. It says, thanks for watching. Oh, in the broadcast. Can I do it? Yeah.